Hi, Star Wanderers. You're watching CosmoCake, a place where every zodiac sign comes to life through stories. Each sign has its own adventure, its own kind of magic, and its own lessons. Whether it's cosmic journeys or heartwarming everyday tales, CosmoCake has stories for every starry soul. So grab something cozy and let's dive into the magic together. Now, we begin the story of Taurus, the gentle stayer, a story of patience, warmth, and the quiet kind of magic that only a Taurus heart can create. Meet May, a gentle baker whose love for her craft turns ordinary desserts into something truly special. Let's see how her story unfolds, filled with warmth, detail, and meaning. Taurus, the Gentle Stayer, a short story by Luna. The bell above the bakery door chimed like a gentle laugh as another morning sun spread its golden light through the windows of maple and crumb. The scent of rising dough, cinnamon, and buttered sugar lingered in the air like a memory you didn't want to end. May rolled up her sleeves, her soft brown hair tied into a messy bun, and leaned into the comforting rhythm of kneading dough. There was something sacred in this act, the quiet push and pull, the way the dough slowly came to life under her palms. Every morning began like this, long before the town awoke. She wasn't just baking, she was creating comfort. May had always believed that good food didn't just fill the stomach. It held you, healed you, reminded you that the world could be gentle. Maybe that was her Taurus soul, the way she stayed, grounded, when others rushed. Her bakery was small but radiant. Shelves of hand-painted mugs, the faint hum of an old record player, tiny pots of green basil and lavender by the window. A chalkboard outside read in May's cursive handwriting, "Happiness is baked fresh today." And yet, behind the soft smiles and warm smells, May carried a quiet ache. For months now, customers had stopped coming in as often. The little town had grown quieter, sadder somehow. People rushed by, eyes downcast, weighed down by invisible worries. Even her regulars, Mrs. Harding, who loved raspberry tarts, the school teacher who came every Thursday for lemon drizzle cake, had started skipping days. May noticed everything. It was as if the world's sweetness was fading, and her pastries couldn't quite reach people anymore. One evening, as the sky blushed violet, May decided to visit the old farmer's market at the edge of town. It was half empty now, only a few stalls still open. She walked slowly, her woven bag swinging gently by her side, her thoughts heavy. That's when she saw it, a tiny stall tucked between two faded fruit carts. It didn't look like much, just an elderly woman with silver hair braided neatly, her hands arranging jars that glimmered faintly in the twilight. May paused. There was something about the jars. Each one seemed to shimmer faintly, like starlight caught in glass. "Good evening, dear," the woman said with a kind smile. "Looking for something sweet?" May laughed softly. "I think I make enough sweets myself. I'm a baker." "Ah," the woman's eyes sparkled. "A gentle one, I can tell. You carry the patience of the earth." May blinked. No one had ever said that to her before, but somehow it felt right, like the woman had seen the Taurus inside her, steady and rooted. The woman picked up a small jar filled with a pale golden powder that seemed to hum faintly, like it held a heartbeat of its own. "This," she said, "is Aurelia Dust. Just a pinch, and you'll find joy rising again where it had fallen flat." May smiled politely. "Is it edible?" The woman's laugh was soft and knowing. "For those who bake with care, yes. But be warned, its magic responds only to the heart that stirs it." May hesitated, then handed over a few coins, not because she believed in the magic, but because the woman's warmth reminded her of something she'd been missing: hope. She tucked the jar into her bag, unaware that the world would never taste the same again. The next morning, May was back in her kitchen before dawn. She sprinkled a tiny pinch of the shimmering powder into her cinnamon batter, stirring gently. The scent that rose was unlike anything she'd ever smelled. Soft, floral, and strangely comforting, like the first hug after a long time apart. When the first batch of muffins came out of the oven, golden and warm, she felt a tiny pulse under her fingertips, as though the muffins were quietly alive with something more than heat. She laughed it off and opened the shop. The first customer that morning was Mrs. Harding, who hadn't visited in weeks. "I don't know why," Mrs. Harding said, "but I woke up craving your cinnamon muffins today." May handed her one, and the woman took a small bite. Her eyes softened. Tears welled up, uninvited but gentle. "I don't know what this is." she whispered, but it feels like a good memory I'd forgotten. By afternoon, people were queuing outside the door again. Word spread quickly. There was something magical in May's pastries. People left smiling, laughing softly to themselves, carrying cupcakes as if they carried pieces of sunlight. May didn't tell anyone about the jar. She didn't even tell herself it was real. She just baked and stayed. Weeks passed. May's little bakery became a haven for the weary. A couple who'd been fighting came every Sunday now, sharing one slice of strawberry cake and talking again. Children who rarely smiled came running for cookies. A man who'd lost his job started leaving thank you notes on napkins. May would watch from behind the counter, her heart swelling, as if her kitchen had turned into a quiet cathedral for lost joy. She noticed something, too. The magic worked differently depending on what she felt while baking. When she was calm and happy, the desserts filled people with peace. When she baked while missing someone, the treats tasted bittersweet and made people reflective. The Aurelia Dust wasn't just reacting to her, it was listening to her. And that realization both comforted and frightened her. One gray afternoon, May received a letter. Her best friend, Leo, who had moved to the city 2 years ago, was returning to town. He had once dreamed of opening the bakery with her, but life had pulled him elsewhere. When he arrived that weekend, the bakery smelled of lavender bread and caramel glaze. "May," he said softly when he saw her, "you did it. It's beautiful." They sat together on the bakery steps, sharing a blueberry tart. May hadn't used any Aurelia dust that day, just her heart. "It's strange," Leo said, smiling faintly. "Your food, it feels like home." May looked at him, the golden evening light catching his eyes. "That's all I ever wanted it to feel like." For the first time in a long while, she realized she didn't need magic to make people feel happy. She had always done that, through her patience, her care, her Taurus steadiness. The magic was only an echo of what was already within her. That night, May returned to the small jar on her shelf. The Aurelia dust shimmered softly under the lamplight, almost as it was waiting. She opened it, inhaled the warm, strange scent, and whispered, "Thank you." Then, with a gentle smile, she walked outside and poured the remaining dust into the flower beds beneath her window. The earth glowed faintly for a moment, then went still. By morning, tiny golden daisies had sprouted where the dust had fallen. May touched one softly. "You'll do the magic now," she whispered. From that day forward, Maple and Crumb became known not for magic, but for something far rarer, peace. People said that when you walked into May's bakery, it felt like time slowed down just enough to breathe. May still woke up early every morning, still kneaded dough with her gentle, steady rhythm. The bell above the door still chimed with the same soft laugh. Only now, she understood what her Taurus heart had been teaching her all along. You don't have to chase magic. You become it when you stay. And she stayed. Through rain, through laughter, through years. She stayed, kneading, baking, loving the world quietly. Every loaf, every pastry, every cinnamon swirl carried the same truth. Gentleness is power. Stability is grace. And joy, when baked with care, can heal more than hearts. It can heal the air itself. May never told anyone about the woman in the market. But sometimes when she looked at the daisies outside her window, she thought she saw a faint shimmer in their petals, like starlight in daylight. And she'd smile, dusting flour from her hands, whispering to herself, "Stay soft, stay steady, stay kind," because that's what Taurus does best. And that was the story of Taurus, the gentle stayer. May showed us the heart of Taurus, gentle, steady, and full of quiet magic. If you're a Taurus, did you feel that warmth too? That love for comfort and care that makes your world beautiful? And if you're not, tell me your sign. I'd love to know how you connect with this story. Stay tuned, because next up is Gemini's story. And trust me, it's going to sparkle in its own special way. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay kind, stay grounded, and keep your magic glowing.